I'm Alicia.
And I'm Maddie.
And welcome to the Fangirl Diaries, a podcast where we talk about our obsessions,
Reminisce about our teen icons,
and explore the books, movies, and shows that made us the incredibly nerdy 30-somethings that we now are. Hello! I don't know why we find our hellos so fun. There's no normal way to introduce
a podcast. I think we need a set of words that we start with every week or something. But no, I think we'll just go hello.
There's no other way of doing a get in than just hello. So that's how we're starting.
So hello, Alicia. What are we talking about today?
Hello, Maddie. We are talking about, and we're so deeply excited, we're talking about the 2004 film Mean Girls.
Yeah, we are.
I love this movie.
Me too.
I love this movie so much.
It's so good.
It's so good. We were just talking about it for 5 minutes, and half that conversation was you and I just saying, it's just so good.
It's just so good.
It's just so good.
It's just so good. I think if we were going to compare this episode to another episode that we've done before, and this may come out of left field, but I think it's most similar to Pirates of the Caribbean, which I described previously as being a perfect movie. And I think this is another example of just a perfect movie in a very specific genre, but it just does it so well and it's so good.
You also call Pirates of the Caribbean your most watched film of all time.
Well, this might be my second. I'm not sure what else there would be up there.
That's it. When we were thinking about this, I thought, oh my God, I've watched this movie a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a year when, for some reason or another, I've not put this film on.
I know.
Or it's not been on TV. Or there's just not been a Tuesday when I thought, do you know what? I really fancy this movie. Or on a plane, right? Because you know, I hate planes and I get very scared and I don't like to fly, but I fly a lot. And then whenever this is on the movie selection, I think, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Everybody else is watching some new release or, an Oscar-winning thing, and I'm just watching Mean Girls.
It's comforting, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Both for its content, but also just because we know it so well, and it's just it makes me feel happy, this film, despite the fact that maybe it shouldn't. I don't know. It's not the happiest movie. But
I don't know. It has a happy ending.
It does have a happy ending, but its content is, I'm not sure it's entirely feel good. But anyway, so if we set the scene for this a little bit, Maddie and I use this podcast to talk largely about nostalgic films, books, TV shows from our teenagehood or childhood.
Stuff we were obsessed with.
Yep. When did this come out, Maddie?
It was 2004, so we would have both been 13, which is the most iconic of the teenage ages.
Yep. Also,
this is impressionable.
This is 20.
Yeah.
That's distressing.
It's literally having its 20th anniversary, I guess, right now.
I don't like that everything that to me feels like the other day, when we were talking about the OC or some of this stuff, we have to keep saying, this is now 25 years old, or this is now 30 years old. There will be people who are watching this film for the first time and enjoying it, to whom it's relevant, who were not alive.
It's like when we watched 80s movies growing up.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's exactly what it's like to people now who are teenagers or young, 12 to 16. It was like us watching 80s movies.
Maybe that's right, because when we watch The Breakfast Club or something, I watch that and think, oh my God, this is so relevant. This feels so spot on.
So great. But it also was a different era.
Yeah, you're totally right. But I mean now, if somebody watched this as a teenager at the age that the film is pitched at, and the film, in terms of the teenagers and their ages in the film, they would not have been alive for this film. You have
no,
to be alive for this film, you're now over 20.
You're over 20, yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. And it doesn't feel old.
No, it doesn't feel old.
Okay, so shall we do a summary? Just in case, I mean, I know we say this with almost everything we talk about, but I'm who's not seen this film?
I don't know, someone this might be their first introduction to Mean Girls. That's all right. We want to bring them into the fold.
I really hope it's not. I really hope they go and watch it, because you and I are just going to butcher it by mining it for quotes and funny stuff. And if you've not seen this film, please pause this instantly and just buy it. It's worth it. If it's however much it is on whatever streaming service you have, buy the film.
Yeah.
Buy the film.
Anyway, The film was, as we said, a 2004 teen movie, and probably like the most iconic teen movie of that era.
For sure.
Pretty much, no doubt. It follows Katie Harron, who has been homeschooled in Africa for most of her life and is coming to a very stereotypical American high school for the first time. And she has to navigate all the cliques, the different types of people, and it really like cements those ideas of what like American high school was like then. And she kind of encounters different groups. She makes friends with Janice, who's like a bit more alternative. But like the film is centered around the plastics, who are the mean girls. And they like rule the school. Everyone thinks they're like amazing and awesome, but also like terrifying and evil. And it's about kind of navigating that school environment and all of the like comedy and drama that comes from it.
Totally. I would argue that this is one of the most intelligent teen films, while also being just out and out funny.
Yes, it manages to just be a genuinely funny comedy movie, but also have, more intelligence, more meaning, and I think that's why it works, right? If something's just funny but kind of vapid, then it's forgettable, whereas this was both.
Yeah, this felt like an anthropological study, like a snapshot of, as you said, a typical high school, a typical sort of social hierarchy if you're 16.
Yeah.
Or whatever that age is.
It even explores that with there's all the comparisons to the students as like wild animals. Like she keeps like seeing them as if they're like African wild animals and all the different groups and stuff fighting each other.
Yes, it occasionally segues into these cutaway moments where it feels like a David Attenborough documentary.
Yeah.
And Katie's voiceover says things like, if this was the watering hole, it would be solved this way. Those actually are maybe the one or two moments for me in the film where I think, oh, that's a bit odd. I'm not sure I needed that moment. But in a film that we otherwise treat as basically flawless. Yeah,
no, I agree. And I think the bits that I do like where it kind of cuts away are some of the more like almost like documentary style bits where it like interviews students as if they're like... There is no documentary. It's not meant to be a faux documentary, but it like interviews students and they like have their impressions of like Regina and Katie and stuff. And there's like, it's really funny. And it's really well like paced in those moments.
Yeah. She has 2 Fendi purses and a silver Lexus. Yeah. Her hair's insured for $10,000. It works so well. So let's go back to when we first encountered this. So we've said this is 2004. We were 13.
Yeah.
We think this is rated a 12. It must have been, or we couldn't have got into the cinema.
Oh, it would never have been more than a 12.
No, there's not the kind of content in it that makes me think
it might be
rated.
The odd like swear word, but that's about it.
Yeah, swear word, maybe like some sex references, but otherwise, I reckon whatever it was rated, we definitely went to see it. And that's probably really smart from the movie, which is that you need to capture everybody from 12 to 18. You need the entire high school audience to see this film. If this had content in it that put it at a 15 or whatever, you're losing half your interested teen population.
Agreed, because you always want to watch things about people slightly older than yourself.
Yes! Oh, definitely. And that would have been what made it so captivating for us, because we were 13 and it was one of those brilliant things like the OC that at the time was depicting your 16 and 17-year-olds. Mm-hmm. So we sort of thought, oh, wow, this is cool.
Yeah,
this is really good. Do you remember seeing it?
I don't know if I remember seeing it the first time. I remember rewatching it and it being like a staple on our rotation of movies that we watched at sleepovers, along with like Titanic.
We probably watched Mean Girls to offset the like terrible trauma of watching like Titanic.
To be fair, we would watch multiple movies like in a night.
Oh yeah.
And I think they probably would do that. We'd be like weeping and then be like, okay, now let's put Mean Girls.
Exactly. In fact, there was very frequently the Rachel McAdams double bill, which was that we were always broken after The Notebook.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to talk about that another time because that was our other sleepover staple.
Yeah.
So it was like, Notebook ends, Mean Girls goes in the DVD player immediately. And we would rope in whoever of that sleepover group, like, weirdly hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So you'd sort of assess who was at the sleepover, work out who hadn't seen Titanic, The Notebook, or Mean Girls.
Yes, you'd like get them all out and be like, right, which one do we need to do? Which one have you not seen? Like, sort it all out.
I remember you coming to sleepovers almost every time with one of those plastic see-through, like a CD case.
Yes,
but it had all your
with
DVDs
in it, definitely.
Yeah, these were the good days. These were the good days. And we would lay them all out and work out in what order, punctuated by what snacks, this was gonna happen.
Minstrels.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, just thinking about snacks now.
Oh dear. Okay, so I mean, at the time, we're saying this is both intelligent and funny, and I mean, would we put it in the category where it was also aspirational in the way that we said The OC and Gossip Girl and things?
Interesting. I was thinking about that in a slightly different way, in that we were younger than them, and so there were definitely things that they could do that we couldn't do. Like but a lot of that was about, this was an American high school rather than us being in like a British school. So like when I think about the things that made it kind of cool to think about being in that world, it was they all wore their own clothes to school. That's not about them being like older or more wealthy. It was because they were American. They like drove cars around themselves because you can do that at 16 in the US, but you can't do that in the UK. And like these like the Halloween party where they're all like dressed up as like, you know, slutty mouses and things.
Yes.
And it's like,
We weren't allowed those parties.
We did not do that. And if we did have a Halloween party, like we were all dressed like Katie as like demon brides or something actually scary. So a lot of the things that kind of were maybe aspirational was just more this like wonder at what like American high school was like.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. And this has almost become a sub-theme of some of our discussions, because we said a similar thing about the appeal of the OC.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about, I wonder whether so much American teen drama as TV shows or films hits like so hard in the UK, because we live in a predominantly rainy country with school uniforms that are grey and regulation, and no one can drive a car until they're a bit older. So you're right, watching this, and even when I watch it back, I think, oh man, that makes school look really fun.
Yeah, and their school is not fancy like in the OC or Gossip Girl. You know, they're not. I mean, to be fair, Regina George is very clearly very wealthy, but the school itself and most of the people in that high school are just like regular people.
Mm-hmm. It's meant to be, right?
Like, it's meant to be, yeah.
It's
just
this
normal
run-of-the-mill
school.
Yeah, it's just North Shore High.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to be, frighteningly, every high school. That's its point, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
The cafeteria, when Janice does her brilliant study of who sits where. You've got your jocks, the band geeks, etc. The greatest people and the worst. That is meant to be a canteen anywhere.
Yeah, and and that was what was interesting for us, is because like there probably were things that we did recognise in that cliquey side, but also things that were very different.
Well, let's talk about that. Do we think this film has a point?
Yeah.
You looked at me as if I'd asked you such a dumb question. It's so true. This film is so clever, because this, even at 13, even when we were younger, I did watch this and think, oh, it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's correct.
Well, and even if in our school maybe you couldn't quite have put the same kinds of names on all of the different groups, there were groups.
Yes.
There were groups, there were cliques. And they existed from probably about that age, from about year 8 onwards, where, you know, you just were in like really, really close-knit friendship groups. You sat with those people in classes if you could. You sat with those people at school, at lunch. You like hung out with those people outside of school. And you were kind of mean and about other groups. Like that just happened. And it happened the whole time. Maybe by sixth form we may have got rid of some of it, I don't know, but like it was recognizable. I do wonder sometimes whether how much that was recognized by these kinds of TV shows and therefore represented to us, but also like maybe reinforced a bit.
Definitely.
Like, do you think that we kind of created that ourselves because of these kinds of films and shows?
I don't know. Yeah, yes and no. I think it definitely existed before this film
Yeah.
really, really gave us an undiluted version of it.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching this film and thinking, oh gosh, like satirically that's so spot on.
Yeah.
I maybe didn't know the word satirically yet, but I did think, oh yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Like that's definitely true. Not quite to the exaggerated extent of, as you said, the groups didn't have the same terminology. The UK doesn't really have band geeks in the same way.
No.
Or
Although we did have like orchestra and choir and the people
yes.
that were in that. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yes. But we certainly used the term groups rather than, we didn't call them cliques, but we did call them groups.
Yeah.
And every single person in our school would admit to being in one or recognizing them for what they were. Or you could group our entire year. I could do it today. You and I could sit down and remember name for name who was in what group.
Oh,
I
and
bet
if
we
like
could do it.
and if you like moved group or like you
huge
tried
deal.
to like change group, like it was noticed and commented on, and it was a drama.
Yep. I remember at the end of Mean Girls when Katie says something about she could just float. You know, she goes from group to group. That was quite rare. There would be one or two
There
people
would be a few people,
who were sort of intergroup minglers.
yeah.
But it was dangerous. It's a dangerous road out there.
They were probably just like the nice people.
Well, but then whose group are you in? Like, what sleepover do you go to?
That's true.
If you're in no group, you're groupless.
It's true.
You're like factionless. This is a problem.
Oh no.
But we so completely understood that this structure existed.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, it was geographical. Like when we came in for form time, or which would be the equivalent of like homeroom, or at lunch,
Yeah.
like we did not sit in the area that we knew was a different group's area.
No. And even
way.
when we were like slightly older and we were allowed to like go outside at lunchtime, I remember like there were particular areas of like the outside space that were like where we sat at lunch versus where other people sat at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Everybody wordlessly respected this system.
Yeah.
But it was completely geographical. It was, and now would you say, like Mean Girls, was it hierarchical?
Yes, or at least it felt it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Mean Girls takes it, we should say, to its satirical extremity, because that's the point. But I would say, certainly in my experience, that every school seemed to have a hierarchical social system.
Yeah.
There were the people who were sort of the richer, beautiful ones.
Yeah.
Who, I don't know, who just... And we were saying
Who played sport.
Okay. You've got that. Yes.
They played netball and maybe hockey.
Yes, that's definitely true. And there are some brilliant bits in Mean Girls where you see the fact that North Shore can't quite actually control, like even Regina and her group managed to get privileges and get away with things that like even the teachers are a bit sort of scared of them.
Oh yeah, the teachers in Mean Girls are like great. They're like, yeah, they're completely sucked into the whole system as well.
They're so good. But that was a recognizable thing. Like we had a draconian uniform policy unless you were on a sports team.
Yeah.
And then there was a little bit more flexibility. I remember thinking, how come these guys get different jackets? What the hell is this? Why are we wearing the stupid coats? These guys get something else. And then there was the breakthrough moment where our group managed to found a colony in the drama studio. And if anyone else came in there from a different group, I remember you and I thinking, wait, hang on. Wait a minute. This is not your zone.
This is where we sit.
This is where we hang out. What are you doing? Are you lost?
On Wednesdays we wear pink.
Yes, exactly. So it was so wonderfully recognisable as a film. And I think, and it didn't matter, crucially, it didn't matter what group you were in, you would have enjoyed this film.
Yes.
Whether you were a Janice or a band geek or
even a plastic.
jock, or even a plastic.
Yeah. You'd still have fun because they're not, that's the thing about the film in general, is it acknowledges all of these groups but all of them are like represented both sympathetically and also as like bad people. Like, you know, everyone has their moments where they're like not very nice or they're a bit, you know, even when like later in the movie they all start like fighting with each other because the burn book gets released out into the world, and they're all nasty to each other. They've all got their secrets, and it's not about one group necessarily being worse than the others. Obviously the plastics are meant to be the mean girls, but like ultimately it's just about the fact that you separate yourselves into these little worlds, and even if you think that the plastics are the best and they have more than you kind of sit in your own little group and think, but actually, like, we're the best group.
Oh, for sure. And they all have their own, intra-group problems and all this various stuff. But the film is just so clever in the way that it sets all of that out. And we were talking about how it feels to watch it as somebody a little bit younger than the characters. But I think it managed to capture that age group because the younger viewer feels like Katie, who's coming into it completely naive, who feels younger than all those other characters.
Yeah, she's not wearing makeup at the beginning. She's wearing pretty basic clothes, and she doesn't really understand the rules, so she has to be guided through them, which obviously is like an excellent filmmaking technique
It's
where
genius.
you have to like bring in someone and explain it all to them.
Yeah, but she's their contemporary, and yet when you're watching it as a 13-year-old, it feels like they're taking someone younger into their group because she says things about like she's never kissed a boy, she's never really gone shopping before, worn makeup, she's not really drunk anything before. So I do think the younger viewer manages to get into the film through the vehicle of Katie.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, so let's talk a bit about these characters.
Yeah.
This is everybody's favourite Lindsay Lohan. Oh, no, is it?
Parent Trap.
Yeah, Parent Trap. So this is everyone's favourite Lindsay Lohan film. And then I was like, no, wait a second. It's got to be The Parent Trap. Anyway.
But no, I mean, Lindsay Lohan does a great job of like, having that naivety at the beginning and coming across like she looks exactly right. Like you can tell she's absolutely stunning, but because she comes in like no makeup, basic clothes, she's like a perfect target for the plastics because you can like tell she's actually like gorgeous.
Yes.
But she's not been like turned into the plastics yet, so she's like a perfect target.
That is so true. And one of the things the film does is remind us that Regina's not a great person, but also nor is Janice.
Yeah.
And a couple of times, both of those characters do things that mirror each other.
Yeah.
And one of the first things they both do is tell Katie that she's pretty. Janice says to her, or her and Damien say, like, you're a regulation hottie. They
see
tell
it
her
as an asset already as well.
Yeah, they're sort of making her aware of the fact that she's going to get attention because she's classically pretty.
Yeah.
And one of the first things Regina says to her is like, but you're like really pretty. So you start to get the echoing of Janice and Regina straight away. But it is centered around that Katie is hot but hasn't realised it yet.
Yeah.
And that's a fantastic thing about the whole film and the notion of the plastics versus Katie and our, I think high school experience is that most people in high school do not look like Regina George.
No.
And that's not just the fact that Rachel McAdams is in her 20s when she's filmed this. It's just that but there always will be these one or two creatures, and it's normally girls, who have somehow miraculously understood makeup, hair, or they kind of are the one or two people who look like they should be on TV in a high school, and the rest of us look like trash.
Someone told them what to do.
Yeah. I mean, now when you look back at photos from that era, it's not the case.
No.
Everyone looked pretty bad, but
comparatively at the time, it felt like that.
Yeah, and I think you get that impression in Mean Girls when you reference the cutaway bits, the documentary style, the bits where everybody is fangirling over Regina.
Yeah.
And they've cast people there who just look like normal high school people. It's like people are a bit fat, or like people whose hair's a bit crap, or have braces or whatever. And they cut between those sections and the slow-mo of Regina walking out in her gym clothes. And she does look like a different creature.
Yeah.
She looks like a Kardashian when the rest of the world looks like not a Kardashian.
I mean, in terms of the casting, Rachel McAdams is just like, also brilliant casting. I think they did in general the casting across this whole movie just like brilliantly.
And they zeroed in on what was thought to be the apex of teen beauty at that stage, which is that Regina is thin, tall, blonde, has straight hair.
Yeah.
And like if you had to draw a picture of what was hotness at that time,
2004, yeah.
Yeah, you would draw that picture. And I don't think it's... I mean, I think Rachel McAdams looks... She's such a beautiful woman. But I prefer her look in The Notebook. It's just that what they've done with her as Regina George is go, this is your Queen Bee.
They've made all of those people look like the stereotypes of the characters. They don't look like themselves.
No.
They, just with the styling and with the characterization. Like, Amanda Seyfried is she's just Karen. Like, she just is. And yet... Like,
love her.
In every other role, she's not really like that at all. She's quite, they really managed to, like, find people who were able to, like, fit into those roles, but yet, like, outside of them are actually quite different.
And what do you think about Katie then as she morphs in the film and starts to become a plastic, both in terms of her changing look, but also this is the character journey through the film, isn't it? She joins that group.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because it's quite like a sympathetic journey. Like, you can really understand how she ends up like that.
I know.
You don't end up thinking like, oh, I would do something completely different. I would never get sucked into this. You kind of go along with her and will be like, this is what would happen to me.
I would get sucked into it.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like, it's very understandable.
Yeah. They show what happens when Regina turns her attention on someone. And it's so... seductive to be the focal point for someone like Regina, who in herself is a star, and that's how they sort of talk about her. But also then to have the treble whammy of the whole school treating you like a movie star.
Yeah,
and suddenly those documentary clips swap to, they say things like, I saw Katie Heron wearing army pants and flip-flops, so I bought army pants and flip-flops. And it becomes about her.
Yeah.
So it is so powerful. It's the power of sort of micro celebrity in that like high school environment.
While we're talking about characters, I, like, looking back on this movie, realised that I've had like a massive change of heart about Janice as a character. And like you mentioned earlier that she's quite kind of like the mirror of Regina, which I think probably at the time I didn't realise. Like, when I was 13, I think I was in a phase back then of wanting to be a bit alternative, wanting to be like cool and different. And like, to me at that time, cool was Janice, like listening to rock music and going to gigs and like wearing black stuff and eyeliner. They watched
cool horror films. Art.
So to me, I was like, oh yeah, Janice, they're really cool. And so the story kind of fit more into a, like, Katie gets like taken away from Janice to like the mean girls, and kind of like, and Janice is the one that's being betrayed. But actually, when I watch it now, as you said, like, Janice is just as mean, if not in some ways meaner, maybe not than Regina, but certainly meaner than like Gretchen or like Karen. And so I think that character has really changed its kind of meaning. Like, I don't really associate with her as much as I would have done at the time, I think.
No, that's right. That's the subtle layer of the film, that both of these very strong women, very strong personalities, try to use Katie in some way.
Yeah, it's not like Janice was good and Regina was evil. It really wasn't that.
No, Janice wants her for her evil scheme.
Yeah.
Her takedown of this dictator.
Yeah.
Oh, please, can we talk about the takedown? It's so clever. It's, in terms of like structuring of a film, it's you've said its narrative structure is so clever in the fact that we have Katie the outsider come in, and it's that classic new person joins the high school, just like how Gabriella joins the high school in High School Musical. You've always got to have your new kid on the block.
Yeah.
But within that structure, then we get the 3-part takedown of Regina George.
Yes.
Every time Janice gets out that blackboard,
like a plan.
I'm so happy.
Love a plan.
I love a plan. It's like she's getting out the map for a battle. And they cross off each one on the chalkboard each time. And it is so... And it's also so teenage. The stuff they do is so enjoyably stupid. Like, they give her the sodding like foot cream for her face.
Oh yeah.
And they make her eat the Caltine bars.
Oh yeah, I remember the Caltine bars.
Like, it's so dumb. It's so pathetic.
Yeah.
And yet they hit on things that are, maybe the foot cream face thing's not particularly effective, but
Well, they try and like turn each other against, like the group against her, right? They all trying to like turn Karen against Regina, and they're like spreading rumors on that like 4-way phone call and stuff to try and like to take down the group.
Yes, they have to crack Gretchen Wieners.
Yeah.
She has all the secrets.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. But even the stuff like making Regina fat is in and of itself a kind of a zeitgeisty thing from that era, which is, we said before, Regina is skinny. This is your size 0 era.
Yeah.
It's like one of the things in their plan to ruin her life is to have her go up a dress size.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild.
Yeah, and she doesn't even really get fat.
No.
Can't fit in like one dress.
No. It's that on the time that she comes into the like dining hall or the canteen looking a bit bigger, it's just that she's not wearing a minuscule skirt. She's wearing her juicy couture.
Yes.
Like sweatpants. And I think, yeah, we've all had that day. Like that doesn't seem so bad. No. But there we go. What other bits in this film are like, I mean, we could just talk through it scene by scene, but we won't, are super iconic where you're like, oh God, I love that bit.
Ooh, I don't know why the one I always remember is just the stupidest moment, where it's when she's starting to talk to Aaron Samuels.
Yep.
He's like, we've been starting to talk, and it's like, on October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
Yeah. I said, it's
October 3rd. Just like, it's like the most iconic, memeable moment of like all. But there is that high school romance thing, which we haven't really gone into.
Oh, I'm coming to that. That's an our thermometer.
That our thermometer section. And that whole thing is also very, recognisable, even though we didn't have Aaron Samuels in our school.
That's so true. Yes, that's true. At the girls' school, there was no boy dynamic,
no.
but we'll come to that. But part of the film's genius is it manages to create these like set piece moments that there are almost too many for us to mention, and they've been replicated time and time again. They have become like iconic in and of themselves, like the North Shore Winter Talent Show.
Oh, the Jingle Bell Rock.
The Jingle Bell Rock.
Classic.
It's just like, and I mean, that's just one of like 9.
I'd also say like the entrance of the plastic
is
as well is a really good set piece, where they're like carrying Regina on the like football field, and then Karen like bumps the ball with her boobs. Like it's all in slow motion as we're being introduced to them.
Gretchen Wieners is on the phone.
Yeah.
She's like got one of those old mobile phones. Yes, and it's all in slow-mo, you're right, and it's like their gym clothes, isn't it?
Yeah.
It starts with Janet saying like, or Damien saying like, would you look at Karen Samuel's gym clothes?
Yeah.
And they're in, and this is so true as well, they're in like little hot pants.
Yeah.
And like special gym tops. And everyone else looks crap. And they look like movie stars.
That's true.
All the stuff with the plastics and the use of slow-mo in this film is great. There's the scene when Katie has joined them, where they walk in slow-mo sequence down the hall and Katie falls in the bin.
Oh, yeah, classic.
Which is quite a good way of subverting that trope. Or the fantastic sequence where they're getting ready for Halloween.
Yeah.
And Katie references, in Girl World, you just like dress like a slut with some mouse ears or something. Yeah. And they're all getting ready. And you just think, whoa, this is making this look glamorous. And you're right, we would have been sucked into that group.
The other great set piece is the the intervention from the teachers, where they're all in the hall and they all have to like confess to each other and then do like a trust fall. And then they don't catch Gretchen, they just let her fall right on top of Karen.
Walk it off, girls. Walk it off. Everything about that.
Go here.
Everything about that sequence is amazing. That's it. This film doesn't go 4 lines without there being like some sort of piece of scripted genius.
Well, then
Tina
we
Fey.
need to talk about Tina Fey.
Let's talk about Tina Fey,
who, like, as far as I can tell, she had been a writer and like a star on SNL for years, but had not done other big movies or TV shows where she was like the sole creator, writer. She was like, honing her comedy skills on like, I guess, live television scripts, which is a really big deal. But this was like her first big breakout thing as writer, and also, star actress in it, but mostly like as a writer. This would have been a massive big break for her.
I am just astonished because it is, to me, the perfect film. Or as in like the perfect script.
Yeah.
The perfect script. I can't think of one that's more quotable or that's more like when you're talking about the sequence in the gym. Yes, there is you don't even go here. But there's also the one who talks about the tampons and the wide set vagina.
Yes.
And, there's that, even that sequence has got 99 brilliant quotes in it.
I just remembered the gym hall where they're having the sex ed class.
Yes!
It's just like,
don't have sex.
Don't have sex.
Don't do it.
You will get pregnant and die.
You will die. That's exactly it. It's just so good.
So
and
good.
It manages to combine scripted humour, so these brilliantly quotable "You go Glen Coco," and also like things like that where how did she make that up? Like, how has "You go Glen Coco"? It's just so
Become
brilliant.
a meme. Yeah,
it's just completely inventive and genius, but with elements of visual comedy that are so memorable, like the talent show, like cutting the snipping at Regina's top.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah,
you can
yeah.
see her bra. And then there's the sequence where everybody else
does it.
has done it.
The arriving at Regina's house and going through her mansion home with her younger sister who's practicing slutty dance moves in front of the TV.
Kylie.
Then being introduced to her mum who's a cool mum, and it's Amy Poehler being amazing. And it's that whole sequence and that setup as well is really great.
Yeah. Do you want a little bit of alcohol? I'd rather you drink it in the house. It's and Regina's like, Mum, please shut up. Yeah. It's so good. Yes, it does those visual sequences so well. The mathletes. And them with the oh my God, Kevin G.
So good.
Yeah. She's like, oh, Kevin G. It's quite frightening that I think most people and most millennials know Kevin G's entire rap.
Yeah,
I won't go into, but it's true. And of course, the Burn Book.
Burn Book, yeah.
Why do you think the Burn Book is so good as a concept? What power does that have in the film?
Well, I guess it's pivotal to the plot in that it gets used to backstab against Katie, but I think originally it kind of starts off as this this is what Mean Girls do, is they collect all the nasty information and they keep these secrets, and they keep this it's almost like them keeping tabs on everyone and keeping power over them. And it's also recognizable because although I don't think we had a burn book, but we definitely wrote diaries endlessly
and passed notes
and all this sort of stuff that's quite it's quite recognizable as what teen girls do, is they keep the gossip written and between each other.
Yeah, that to me is its power. That this is, I often forget watching it, that this is pre-social media and really at an early technological stage. And I'm often enjoying the film so much that I don't notice the absence of these things. But this is that aspect of teen culture where you've written something down. Okay, it's in a book, but soon it will become on someone's Facebook wall, or later it will become internet bullying, or we were starting to make MySpace pages or websites where you could list who you liked and who you didn't like.
Yeah.
And so I think the Burn Book is a really original version of that concept.
An equivalent of what happened before that.
Definitely. Yeah. And then what happens if that gets shared or posted, or in this case, photocopied?
Literally posted around the school.
Because it's old school. And they show that while there really isn't social media in this film, and the mobile phones people have are incredibly dated.
Yeah.
But they do use whatever technology they have to start to weaponize technology in a way that hadn't really taken off yet. So the 3 or 4 way phone call.
Yes.
And patching someone in and catching them out that way. And do you remember when Regina calls Planned Parenthood and pretends to be that other girl so that she's not allowed to date the one who Gretchen liked?
Yeah.
And it's this very, very early use of their mobile phones or early use of stuff that I think, this just went on and on. As in this is about to morph into something way worse.
Yeah.
But it's already captured in Mean Girls at that time. And before we move on to our categories, we were talking about the fashion. And which is if you're going to have a teen movie, there's a fashion element to it, especially if you're doing the plastics.
Yeah, it was very iconic of that time, I think. Although maybe in a different way to some other movies. Like it doesn't look like, I mean, yeah, it doesn't look like the OC. It looks more like what regular fashion would have been like in that year.
Yeah, it looks less, I don't know why, it looks less dated to me than the OC or something. I don't know, maybe that's like 1 or 2 years older, but not really. But Mean Girls, when I watch it, and when we were talking about this now, the remake, I don't think to myself, oh, thank goodness they've updated this, because wow, skirts have really changed. Not at all. Whereas when we watch The Breakfast Club or something, it's so 80s, or anything from the 90s. If we watch My So-Called Life or early Buffy, you think, whoa, this is of its time. Mean Girls is 20 years old, but it doesn't look out of place, I think.
Maybe. Although I think probably young people
would say
it did.
Maybe that's right. It's just because I think, oh yeah, that's what teenagers look like, because that's how I remember it. But people are doing the mid-2000s side fringe. You noticed a different use of eyeliner.
Yeah, they all had eyeliner like under their eyes, which nobody would do now because it would make you look kind of sad.
Yeah, the makeup is slightly dated. But there is also that sense of like people wearing sort of strappy vest tops. And as ever, it's the 2000s. So there's a lot of Gretchen has her stomach out a lot of the time. And it was a real era for, and God, I don't miss the early 2000s. Like skin was everywhere.
Yeah.
If you watch Katie's costume as she goes through, it literally becomes a skin reveal.
Yes.
As she goes through.
Definitely.
The thing.
She's like wearing like a polo shirt when she first arrives.
Yeah, she's wearing like a plaid shirt. It's long sleeved and jeans.
Yeah.
And there's like zero, you can basically see her neck.
Yeah.
And then as we move to the talent show, you watch her parents' faces who are like appalled.
Although I do think it's hilarious that she suddenly like really knows how to dance.
Yeah. She's one of the best ones.
Yeah.
And it culminates in the dress she wears when she hosts the house party to try and seduce Aaron Samuels is that black and pink, like kind of, it's completely skin tight mini dress.
Yes.
But it is the sort of thing, and this is why I compare her to a 13-year-old. It's the sort, it doesn't look good on her. She's not made a good fashion choice, but it's like if you're allowed to wear that for the first time, you would pick the most outrageous outfit in the world. And her like boobs are falling out of it. It doesn't like the bra straps look all wrong. She looks awful.
Yeah.
But it's so slutty. She's in this like really exposing dress. But that's brilliant costuming.
Yeah.
Brilliant costuming.
All right, shall we go on to our thermometer?
Okay. All right, Maddie, what do you give so for people, if this is the first episode they're listening to, the thermometer category is for us to judge the hotness level of a film. And we do it out of 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Exactly. How hot is Mean Girls?
I'm going to put it quite low.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just go with a 30.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going around 30 as well.
Yeah.
It's just not about that.
It's not about the romance is there, but the romance is mostly a tool for more conflict between Regina and Katie and the rest of the plastics and even Janice. It's like, it's fun. And like, yeah, Aaron Samuels is very hot. We do enjoy him, but like, it's not really about the romance.
No, it's not. The male characters are really sidelined in this. The best one is Damien, because he's given a comedy role alongside Janice. But Aaron Samuels is, and I think this is the nature of the character, he's not meant to be interesting.
No, he has no particular personality.
No, he's a function, like you said.
Yeah.
And they describe him as man candy.
Yeah.
Which I think is so good. He's basically not given much character development at all. He's a pawn in the game of these women, and he's a bit bland.
But we can also appreciate that Katie, having come from like a school where you assumed she had no particular boy interest, to this place, and then suddenly like when he first starts like talking to her in maths class, like that emotion of like somebody actually paying you some like
Yes.
different sex attention.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you can really like recognize that feeling.
If you've never seen a boy before,
Yeah.
in a school context, then I guess Aaron Samuels is like regulation hot.
Yeah.
He's fine. I think for me, Aaron Samuels never fully landed for me because, you know, this is the era of people like Johnny Depp. I was really in my like bad boy era.
Interesting character era.
Yeah. I was like wanting a sort of like hot dude high school, like the bad boy, whereas Aaron Samuels is like on the football team.
You wanted Jared Leto in My So-Called Life.
Oh my god.
That's who you wanted.
Please let's talk about that another day.
Yeah, we should.
And in advance of us doing that podcast episode, just a shout out, if nobody has watched the early 1990s series My So-Called Life, it is the best money you'll ever spend on Amazon Prime.
Also teen school set, but very, very different in tone.
Very different in tone, but another one of those things that's near perfection.
Yeah.
Isn't it actually, am I right in remembering, that is written by Winnie Holtzman, who does Wicked.
I think you're right, yeah.
And it's one of those brilliant early, again, the script is magnificent. Anyway, Jared Leto's in it, and wow. But Aaron Samuels doesn't quite land for me that way. But he does for Katie, because she's like, oh my God.
A boy.
A boy.
Like, said some words to me.
Yes, and she pretends to be bad at maths.
Yes.
It's so wonderful when the culmination of that narrative is that she gets wasted at her own house party and admits, and I pretended to be bad at math, but I'm not really bad at math. You're kind of bad at math. You know? And she reveals the ruse, which was that she was pretending to be bad at maths to get him to tutor her, to like her. Such a teenage ploy.
It is very reminiscent of little plots that we had going on to like try and entrap people.
Oh no, this is not going to make us look good, but it's so true.
Yeah.
And actually,
how can we make this person interested by like coming up with some scheme?
Oh no, you've gone there, but it's so true. And your word entrapment is exactly right.
Yeah.
This is why I think a lot of people resonate with a lot of Taylor Swift, including us, because she's upfront about this. You know, she's always talking about her scheming, that she was plotting and planning, and in that teenage young adult way where that's right. You think, what can I control?
Yeah.
Within my limited sphere of control, who or what can I control? And Katie tries to do that with Aaron Samuels.
Yeah, but ultimately realizes it wasn't worth it.
No, and it's a great piece of moral, cultural commentary, which is don't pretend to be a dumb girl to get boys to like you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And she does so much better once she just admits who she actually is and like comes into her own.
Yeah. And wins with the mathletes.
Yeah.
And she's like a mathlete champion. Yeah. But that is the big, is that the moral message of the movie? Be yourself.
It's that, but it's also about like just having kindness for people who are not like you. I think that whole like ending where they like see the other version of the plastics from the younger years coming up. And they're like, our year group, we've worked it out. We're all just like nice to each other now. And I think, the moral is just, you're all just human beings. There's no need to like, you're all going to be different. You're not all going to end up being the same. You don't need to be the same to be kind to each other.
Yeah. And to try and break down or at least dilute that social hierarchy structure a bit. We've gone off topic from Thermometer.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aaron Samuels, but he's a pawn. I do think that almost my reason for it being 30 degrees rather than 0, because like I don't think there's even sexual tension between Lindsay Lohan and whoever plays Aaron Samuels.
No, not particularly.
You just kind of think, all
just
right.
a cute crush.
Yeah, it's a cute crush. To me, the sort of hotness level of the film, or any kind of frisson, was that you do look at the girl characters and think, whoa, those guys are stereotypically hot, and you kind of want to be them.
Yeah.
Which is what makes the film so hatefully brilliant. That they're awful.
Yeah, and they are sexy in the, like, you know, obviously they are meant to be teenagers, but like at the time that was like, it was kind of this, I want to be that, I want to have that sexual power.
Yes.
Yeah.
The sexiness in the film comes from the women.
Yeah.
Way more than Aaron Samuels and Shane Oman or whoever else is in it. And maybe an example of that is the fact that so many of the women in this film are superstars.
Yeah.
And could you name who plays Aaron Samuels? because I couldn't.
No, I think I might have written it down, but I don't know.
I remember thinking earlier, who is that? I've never seen him in anything
I didn't even
else,
write it down.
No, the male characters are not important.
No.
They're completely kind of taken over by the women in this film. Okay, our next category, and my goodness, I don't think it's an appropriate one for this, is how badass is Mean Girls?
Like, not badass.
No.
Because all of the stuff that they do that, like, they probably think in the movie are badass. You know, like, when they're doing their plots and their schemes and they're like, I'm gonna take this person down and whatever, the whole point is that none of that was cool or badass.
Yeah.
It was all nonsense, cruelty that they shouldn't have been doing. So, like, it's kind of the opposite. It's like all these people who think they're really badass, but actually are pretty pathetic.
Yeah, and this is in a different category from other teen drama or teen films where you really do see teenagers do quite dark stuff.
No.
This stays in a very safe but pathetic space of, they give her foot cream for her face.
Yeah.
Or they try and turn her friends against her with, like, gossip and lies.
And they all think they're all really cool, but actually none of them really are.
Yeah, the saving grace of this whole environment of people in cliques or groups is that, and it's true in real life, that this only holds up really in a school environment. If you take these people who are treated like superstars out of school and you put them in, like, the actual world.
Yeah, they are not who they were at school.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I suppose it's badass in that way of it's what you thought was cool and badass as a teen. So, of course, Regina's got an awesome car. Or she's like the only one. She's got one of those convertibles, hasn't she? She looks like she's got the Barbie car.
Yes, true. Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Perfect. And, you know, they reference that she has all the awesome accessories and handbags and...
Like, even the fact that, like, they all wear pink on the same day is, like, they think that's really cool. And it's not. It's really lame. Like, if you all, like, dress up the same, that's really weird.
I think we have to give this the lowest possible level of badassery.
I wanna quickly compare it to another movie, which it definitely will have been compared with because it has quite similar stuff in it, which is one of my favourite movies from the 80s, which is Heathers, which has the same setup. It's an American high school. There is, like, 3 girls who are, like, the cool girls, the Heathers instead of the plastics. And then, like, another girl who, like, kind of comes along and gets, like, pulled into their group and, like, what happens. But the main huge difference is that film is filled with actual murder and, like, death. And it's completely different. And it takes that conceit of that, like, that setup and goes to, like, a really dark place with it, which this film doesn't do.
No.
It does the opposite.
No, this stays firmly in teen comedy rather than teen drama.
Yeah.
This isn't a high school movie where we're looking at people's problems and the darker side of... I mean, this is the darker side of being a teenager. This is...
But, like,
this is
the kind of realistic darker side that, like, a lot of normal people experience. It's not going into, like, real issues, but issues that felt real at the time.
Yeah, it felt super traumatic to be or not to be in one of these groups.
Yeah.
But it isn't the kind of high school trauma that other shows or other films do explore.
Yeah.
And you referenced a sort of influence on Mean Girls. So let's use that to segue into obsession fuel, because I think both of us will say, you know, obsession fuel is meant to be the category where for a lot of our, like, fantasy and sci-fi stuff, we talk about like, all the kind of cool things you can learn about. Surely this is like a 0 on that front.
In a way, but also in a different way. It, like, has seeped into our lives in a way that other stuff may not have done. Like, it is just endlessly quotable and memeable, and I will use, like, GIFs from Mean Girls all the time. Yeah. And, like, whenever I'm feeling sick, I'm always just like, I'm sick. Just always. Like, so I feel like, in a way, maybe you don't dig into the lore and the history and the backstory of this thing, but in a way it has kind of stayed with us in a kind of obsession-y kind of way, just because it's so, it's just so iconic. It's
a cultural reference point that I assume everyone has.
Yeah.
And that if I do the, like, I'm sick, and someone looks at me like they don't know what it is, I think, wait, what?
What
do you mean? Like, do you not know that? Like, how How?
Well, you know that.
Where have you been? Like, have you not watched this incredibly key movie?
Yeah.
A bit like things like Friends, or there are certain things that I assume somebody of a comparable age to us knows what we're talking about if we reference one of these things. And Mean Girls is definitely that. But you mentioned it draws on Heathers.
Yeah.
And we were also kind of talking about what are the perfect teen films, what are the things that like, are completely just almost flawless. And one for me that predates this is Clueless. That is similar. You've got 3 girls, you've got your blonde queen bee, but that has a softer side to it, and it doesn't have a Katie Heron figure coming in. We're following the queen bee in Clueless. Whereas in this film, the plastics are more objectified as these high school meansters. As these others.
Yeah.
As this group that is a group to penetrate. Katie has to like get into the plastics.
Yeah.
But then we were thinking about influences, like how this influenced other teen films, and basically came to the conclusion that this was so good that there's like been nothing as good since.
Nobody's really been able to replicate it. Like nobody has made a better teen movie since.
I don't think they have. Like we were going through like what are the perfect teen films, and I was pulling out stuff like 10 Things I Hate About You, and I thought, no, these already existed. But after Mean Girls, it was as if, like, I mean, people listening to this, please send us a message to say what is a more perfect teen comedy than this.
Well, the only other one that I could come up with that was more recent was Easy A, which was Emma Stone's movie, and at the time it got a lot of comparisons to Mean Girls, but in a way where it was acknowledging that, like, I mean, this is a great movie, but Mean Girls is still better.
I don't know. It's still got to be Mean Girls for me, and I just wonder whether the formula was so perfect, everything about it was so perfect, that after that things felt a little bit copycat, or teen films, you know, quite rarely maybe went in a darker direction,
or became more like
TV
things. Became more where teen drama happened. I don't know.
Yeah, we start to get Gossip Girl and things like that instead. But that, again, is the realm of
Riverdale.
teen drama. Riverdale. Yeah, exactly. Rather than teen comedy. In quite the same way. Like, if I'm feeling sick, I want to watch this. I want to watch Princess Diaries. I want to watch 10 Things I Hate About You. I want to watch rubbish. But rubbish that's not rubbish. Rubbish that's brilliant.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
this is in that category. Brill. I have seen the reboot, but you are yet to see the reboot.
No, because the reboot it's sort of a reboot, but it's also based on the musical. And I do intend to see the musical, but I haven't. And I'm not 100% convinced that it's going to be the greatest thing in the world. But
it's not. It's a little bit like I tried to watch the reboot of Gossip Girl, and I think with things that are so iconic, I was so brilliant the first time, I can see why there is a commercial impetus to remake these things, because people are going to watch it.
Yeah.
People think, oh, right, Mean Girls, yeah, I'll have more of that. But I think people's memory is better than these kind of producers think, because it was too early to reboot Gossip Girl. The classic is
not that long ago.
It's not that long ago. It's too early to reboot Mean Girls.
Which is why I will probably go see it on stage, because at least that's a different medium, right? Like, that's a different experience, is seeing something on stage as a stage musical. That's different than, okay, let's then take that stage musical, put it back into film format. And then basically you're recreating the same thing, but just with, like, songs in it.
Yeah. I have to say I did enjoy it, but I enjoyed it because I enjoy Mean Girls. And it was like watching it just with a different cast, but it was following all the same beats. It was doing all the same stuff. And I remember thinking, well, but I love this because I love this the first time. And if we could just skip through this quite quickly, I just want to go back and watch the original.
Yeah.
And it's got sort of cameos from, I mean, like Tina Fey is in it, and it's got Lindsay Lohan does a cameo in it. But you just think, no, this is too soon to cameo. Like,
why?
Why? It's not been that long.
What are you achieving artistically by creating this?
No, exactly. So it sounds like it's coming up soon. You're going to go and watch this musical.
Yes.
And I will probably just go back to watching the original over and over again. You've been listening to the Fangirl Diaries. Follow us on Instagram at Fangirl Diaries Pod.
And do share us with any of your friends that you think might enjoy the podcast, and rate or review us on Spotify or Apple Music.